Dr. Sidney Long was a physician working at the Norfolk and Norwich and Jenny Lind hospitals in Norwich. But his heart lay in the natural world. He was for many years a leading light of Norfolk and Norwich Naturalist Society, and he led the foundation of Norfolk Naturalists Trust, which today we know as Norfolk Wildlife Trust. Every 2 years, Norfolk Wildlife Trust and the Norfolk and Norwich Naturalists come together to award the Sidney Long Memorial Medal in his memory. And this year's recipient is Dr. Anne Edwards. Anne, what an amazing ancient coppice.
It's fabulous, isn't it?
It's just beautiful. I reckon that the last time it was cut was probably a century ago, but by the width of the stool, it's much, much older than that as a tree.
We're looking at 600, 700 years old for this stool.
And we've come to Ashwellthorpe Lower Wood, which in many ways has been the focus of your action for conservation in Norfolk over more than 30 years.
Yes, since the early 90s. Yeah.
And you bring together a team of volunteers to coppice. What's the physical work involved and what's the benefit for wildlife?
Coppicing is an ancient form of forest management whereby you cut down blocks of trees to the ground and let it reshoot as multiple trunks. Originally that was done to provide a continuous source of materials for fuel or building, but it does have benefits for wildlife because cutting down a block of trees lets in sunlight to the woodland floor and allowing plants to grow up. And some of the really old plants that we have, ancient plant species we have in the wood, are completely dependent on coppicing. Now, if we stopped coppicing, they would die out. And those plants, they tend to flower quite early in the spring and they attract early pollen providers for insects. And yeah, the insects attract birds and so on. So yeah.
And how much of your year do you spend coppicing and getting together teams of coppicers?
Yeah, we start in October, beginning of October, and we go through mid-March, end of March sometimes. If you'd asked me that 15 years ago, I would have said we go through till April, but with climate change, spring is coming earlier and earlier, so we stop when the birds start to nest and the ground flora starts peeping through.
And what do we know about the age of the wood itself?
It was mentioned in the Doomsday Book. We know it's been coppiced.
1,000 years then for a start.
But probably a lot longer than that. Maybe since the last ice age. Yes, it's beautiful, isn't it? Yes.
Just beautiful. What a display of King Alfred's cakes.
Yeah, they sniff out a dying ash and recycle it.
And in Ashwellthorpe, where better than to see King Alfred's cakes? In addition to all of the effort that you've put into conservation for Norfolk Wildlife Trust here at Ashwellthorpe and also at Hethel Old Thorn, what's been your relationship with Wyndham Nature Group and with the Norfolk and Norwich Naturalist Society?
The Wyndham Nature Group, a lot of volunteers come out to help on a Sunday afternoon. We record the species in the wood. We put together a book about the history and the wildlife of the wood. We enjoy our wildlife, we share stories. We send in our records to the Norfolk Naturalists Trust.
And you've contributed as an officer for many years to both organisations.
Yes, that's right. Yes, I'm currently co-chair of the Nature Group and I do coordinate the volunteers here and at Hethel Thorn, and I've been on the research committee for the Norfolk Naturalist Society.
And Anne, in your more than 30 years of volunteering for Norfolk Wildlife Trust for Nature in Norfolk, what have been your particular highlights, things that have filled your heart with joy?
One of the things is the return of 2 butterflies to Ashwellthorpe Wood. 2018 we saw the return of the silver-washed fritillary, and now there's quite a decent population here. And in 2019 the purple emperor came back, and seeing those big butterflies gliding around and the sunny rides, that fills my heart with joy. But every time I come in here I'll find something new that I haven't seen before, something that I don't know what it is. And there's always something new to discover.
As a naturalist, your discovery is never done.
That's right. Absolutely, yes.
Dr. Anne Edwards, on behalf of Norfolk and Norwich Naturalist Society and Norfolk Wildlife Trust, and I feel sure on behalf of Dr. Sidney Long himself, congratulations on receiving the Sidney Long Memorial Medal.
Thank you very much indeed. We have an amazing team of volunteers. Everybody gives their time up to help with the conservation work and maintain the wood. I hope Sidney Long would be very impressed with Ashwellthorpe Wood, about the huge biodiversity we have here and the enthusiastic group of volunteers who want to preserve the wood for future generations.